Hey everybody, Muck here, left hash there, Bob above me. Just hanging out. Thought we have some things to say, and thought we would go get them said. Wow, so this is a great intro, but what can I do?
Well, you could you could do better, or you could upgrade your internet. Either of those would be great solutions for today. But today we're just going with what we already got. So
the equities, I'm trading equities and just crude, and crude is just behaving silly. I think crude is a very dangerous product to trade. I think, and this is just from watching it relentlessly for years, it's so manipulated. I mean, there's just no reason why it shouldn't be at 93 right now, but it's not. They took it down to 91, 60 or something again today. It's the same game, just goes on and on. And the equity market, it's made for people to trade like me, which is just quick in and out because it's a mess.
Yeah, I thought the markets would rally more today than they did. We had like a short-term early morning rally, and it seemed to like fade into oblivion. And I guess maybe people are just worried where they're going to do. I mean, it seems like the Momo trade now is just a short, short all the indexes and any ETF you can get your hands on. I don't know how long that's going to work. If any good
I don't
news
think it's
comes
going to work long.
trade.
I think Lefty's got the best bet of the board. He's got the best bet of the board.
which one am I doing now?
Well, the one with Muck, where he said no rate hikes. That's what's going to happen. I mean, you can see it already.
I'm telling you, if you telegraph hard enough, you don't have to do the move. The market does the move for you. And so what you're seeing right now, you have 6.5 rate hikes priced through December 31st. I tweeted this to somebody yesterday. I said buy 500 of the D22s. There's no chance you get 6 rate hikes. You might get 3. You're still going to be a winner. And I don't think there's options to do it. So, sorry for never responding to that tweet, but there are no options in this product. It's just, if you want options, go to the Eurodollars, go play mid curves. There's some wicked stuff out there. I almost set up a shop about a year and a half ago with one of these big mid curve traders. We just couldn't quite get the financing right. We got close, but it just wasn't quite there. That has been a gnarly trade recently. I have not heard of a lot of great wins coming out of the Eurodollar space from my buddies. So be interested to see if anybody's really killing it in Euro options.
And when you're talking like mid curve, you're talking like 5, 7, 10 kind of a trader.
No, I'm sorry. Mid curve means that you are trading short dated options in terms of time length based on longer dated futures. So if you think of the Eurodollars as being the first 3 years being white, red, green, if you're trading that mid curve, you might be trading something that expires at the end of June of 22, but the actual future that you're trading against is June 24. And so it gives you a bigger whip in your time frame. So those are called mid curve trades.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Because I was just thinking the curve as a whole. I don't, I like the Eurodollars.
Speaking of rate increases and speaking of the Eurodollar, I mean, the chances the EU is going to raise rates, what's that? 1 and none?
I mean, they're going to go one more. They're going to give us one more really good, solid raise, and they're going to pause, and they're going to say, we need to wait for further data. And that's going to take us to 23.
Yep.
I mean, it's the nature of the beast. And if I'm trading the yield curve right now, I'm going to be short right here across the board, especially the back end. But here's the catch. It's roll week. And if you look at the volume numbers, you'll see that the roll is just absolutely huge in some areas. So I'd love to talk to Flipper, but yeah, this thing's going lower. Oh, there it goes. Chugga chugga. Look at that. I gave you a 10-second heads up, and it's worth 5 ticks already in the ultra.
That's gold.
I got to change my
I feel
freaking contracts. Okay. Any rate, I'm talking about the roll, and I realized that my system isn't set up for the next leg. Okay, as you were, sorry. Mid curve rate increases. I still don't believe that we're going to see a 1-point hike. Where'd that guy go? What was that guy's name? I liked him.
Oh, the guy said do 100 bips right now, and then we'll readjust everything.
Yeah.
Fat
I like
fucking
I forgot what that
plants.
guy. I feel like it's just like everything's a slow grind down now. We'll figure it out.
Well,
I feel like
I have to tell you, I get a lot of big flow information, and the big players are not playing. They are just not playing. And when they are bidding something or selling something, it's too small to even really kind of get behind. They are just they are standing on the. I'm sorry, they're standing on the sidelines just watching things go. So, I don't know. I think. Right?
I feel like the short everything trade is kind of crowded.
Druckenmiller was short. Druckenmiller was short 7 weeks ago, and he was short NASDAQ in real big size. I don't know if he's cashed them out yet. I have not heard that he's cashed them out, but shit, I don't know. How much more do you want at this point? You want to bring it down to 4,100? Isn't that basically where we started the pandemic at? Around 4,100 in the S&P?
I think anything in that like 3,800 to 4,100 is, I feel like that's where people are trying to push it. But I don't know.
Never gonna get to it.
What do you do? Like the high flyers who are not really cracking yet, the Apples and stuff like that are on green days are just ripping back up to where they were, and then they come back down, rip back up. It's not like they're not fully capitulating.
Well, Apple's 165 off of what? 184, 186. Yeah, significant.
But
it's not small. Amazon's not moving at all. You get gyrations because it's such a big number to begin with, but it's a mess. Tesla broke 800 today, right?
Yeah. But I was just saying, like, it seems like there's such like a small percentage of the stocks that really move the market, and they're not fully capitulated out yet. So I don't know where.
Well, because the people assume that if the rate hikes don't come, we're going to pop right back up again. And, March 5th, is it March 14th? That's approaching quite quickly, right?
For date for rate changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
I think they come out and say, what, a quarter point raise? We're uncertain market circumstances, and I think the market fucking rallies like it's on fire.
Yeah, I don't think the first thing you do is change the rate. I think the first thing you do is you standardize it to a 25 basis points. Because right now we're floating between 0 and 25. February is going off at 8 bips. That means you have 15 to 20 solid bips, you got to move this thing before you make a rate rise. Like, I just, man, like I believe it. I just don't. Like, if you look at March right now, sorry, we're going to beat a drum for a second. If you look at March is currently trading 99.75, which implies that they're going to move the rate to 25 basis points. It's not a hike. It's just a standardization back to the original norm. It's taking away ZERP. I know that term isn't really what we use anymore, but it's moving it back to the lowest common denominator that we allow. And then if you price it out to May, if you go all the way to May, it looks like you've got 50 basis points priced in to May right now. So there you go. I don't think the March one hits like people are hoping.
When you say you don't think there'll be a rate hike at all?
There will be a rate hike. I just don't think it will not be in March. It will not be 50 basis points out of the gate. And I stand by it. I think they move 25 basis points. They sit there and they look at themselves and they say, shit, I don't know how we're going to pay this debt. Keep it here. Steady as she goes. You'll get a downtick in inflation, right? You're going to get some cooked number coming out in late April or late March, early April. You're going to get a number that comes out and people are going to be like, oh, look, it's all good now. We're fine. Look, inflation's going down. The Fed raised rates one time and it's perfect. And it's like, all right, cool. We're good. Thank you so much. Thanks for playing. And then I'm going to send Muck a bill and I'm going to be like, hey, 2 dinners, buddy.
I really hope I don't have to pay for the 2 dinners.
But here's the good news. Since November, I'm down almost 20 pounds. So I'm obviously eating less, and I won't kill you, Muck.
I know. I don't mind. I love flying out to Chicago whenever I can.
I don't know if we have 6 people. The last time I was at Alinea, I did they've got like a little room. It has 2 walls are glass, 2 walls are mirrors, and it's inside the kitchen. So no matter where you sit on the circular table, you can watch the kitchen behind you.
I've never been to that restaurant. It's supposed to be just fabulous. That's one of the greatest restaurants in the city for sure.
It's fantastic. My only word of advice to anybody who's going who is not a true wine alcoholic, either get the short pour or just get a couple of glasses, because the wine pairing, you will roll out of there and you will just be silly. I've got a decent tolerance too. I couldn't even take it.
Well, we got 6 people going because I owe you and Flipper. So
wow.
I guess that's where we're going.
Just so we're clear, it's about 8 hunch ahead these days.
Woo!
Oh, I'm sorry, 8 hunch a couple. 8 hunch a couple. So.
Oh, Muck, you better quit drinking.
Well, here's
I
the
better
thing.
start drinking.
We can hedge this whole trade by buying a few options in the Eurodollars. All right, Bob, I want to circle back to where you were with crude. I am. Do you guys are you guys on TikTok? Sorry, I know that's a weird question.
I'm not. I don't do TikTok.
You don't ever read on. You don't ever just scroll. There's a dude on there called Trap House Sports, and he uses the best words for like befuddled, betwixt, befunkadied. It's fantastic. I love this guy. But at any rate, I am completely confused with crude and why crude consistently stays up here at this price point. It does not make sense to me. And I think crude should be a $65 to $75 commodity now, but certainly going forward.
Well, I mean, I will tend to agree with you. I think a lot of the concerns around crude are on the ability to produce it. Now, you may know, or you may or may not know, OPEC and OPEC Plus, who we've always thought was, for a long time, and certainly since the pandemic, was producing below capacity. But the problem is, apparently their capacity wasn't their capacity because they had problems. Now, I don't know whether they hadn't spent money and done the upkeep on the stuff, but members kept having problems producing what their identified rate of production was. So there was this underproduction going on. You obviously had Iran off the board. I still don't understand what's going on in the United States. I knew for a long while the reason why crude just didn't get obliterated was because as crude moved up, first off, when it first got up to like 60, 65, you had a lot of the wildcatters and the smaller producers in the Texas area going to banks and saying, hey, we want to start producing it. They're like, no. You got to get current on the loans. And anybody that knows anything about the lending on these loans, I don't know how banks do it because it seems like they do nothing but lose. I guess they get paid out when Exxon comes in and scoops them all up. But anyway, they wouldn't give them extra funds to go out and restart wells. So we really just have not increased the United States output. And that's problematic.
The administration's not pro.
Yeah, but that's a bunch, Muck. That's a bunch of fucking just bullshit. That's what you see on the news, and that's what you see a bunch of talking heads that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground talking about. It's not that the Keystone Pipeline. That's about that. You know what? That helped Warren Buffett because Warren Buffett moves it by train.
It's fascinating that he bought all those train stocks back in 15 and 16.
Wondrous.
Freaking cocks.
Almost like he knew.
Well, at what point, and I don't actually know the answer to this, so I am at your mercy, but at what point does the sand, shale, or whatever it's called, oil production come back into play? It has to be north of 80 a barrel, right? Something like that?
I mean, their production level, they knocked that cost down. Initially, the cost to get it out a barrel was like 84 a barrel. Then it was Then it was down to like 74. Then it was down to 67. I think I saw estimates of getting it out at 53. I don't know. I'm not that deep in that industry.
Are we talking about shale or are we talking about Canadian oil sands?
Shale, not the Canadian oil sands. That's a different level of product.
Wait, China has a what does it have?
I'm sorry?
Canada or China to the north?
Oh, they have the tar sands.
Try Canada.
China.
Yeah, they have oil sand tar stuff. They can get a lot of it, but it's like very corrosive. That's the one thing I've heard that's the negative about it.
It's not stuff that they would convert to automobile fuel or fuel for airliners and such. It's for industrial use. But so I think crude remains, and I don't understand why it's remained this way for almost a year now. It's remained a short-term problem. I guess it was a little less than a year ago that crude actually went negative. If anybody remembers, I think it was April when it actually went negative on the board.
Yeah, one of my buddies from Dallas, they're sitting on a pile of money from selling a company. He's like, hey, if I buy this and they force me to take delivery, what am I doing? I'm like, you mean if you actually have to take delivery on barrels of crude? He's like, yeah, can I have a truck, drop them off in my ranch? I'm like, I don't actually know. I've never heard of anybody taking delivery on crude barrels, but sure, buddy, knock yourself out.
I know a guy that did. This
No
is
way.
yeah, honest to God, a guy in Singapore. He's from an extraordinarily wealthy family. He bought crude. I think he got it. He got him at $7, and he just somehow he had connections to shipping industries because we're really what you want to do is you want to get them offshore and get them on a boat. So he got them on a boat, and then just hung out, and then sold them back for like, I don't know, 6 times the money or 7 times the money he spent. I don't know, some outrageous amount of money. So the carrying costs were negligible. And
I thought no, because I think a lot of people were thinking about it. It's just you have to store it in like a special area for a little while before you or just instantly have it loaded onto a boat. But it doesn't really, it doesn't come easily to you. It's kind of like olive ones, like you have to figure out what you're going to do with it and where you're going to do with it, and you can't just put it in like a storage space.
Well,
it has to be
let's face
kind
it,
of special space.
nobody listening to this webcast is going to be doing that. But this guy is just his father's worth billions, and this guy's some clown. But anyway, he did it. I just happen to have a personal experience to reference. It's nothing I'm going to do. I'm not going to put a couple of barrels. I got an extra 2 acres next door. I could probably put 6 in there. I'd have the EPA here in a week.
Cover them with a tarp. No one will know the difference.
No one ever looks.
Stack a couple of split timbers on them. Oh, yeah, it's my wood pile.
But I'm really confused with what's going on with OPEC, Lefty. I think that's a huge issue here. We have always assumed that that the Saudis could just basically just turn on the spigot and kick out, another 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 barrels. Apparently, that seems to be an issue. I don't know why.
Well, aren't their reserves running like lower than we have here?
What?
Maybe they just don't want to.
No. I mean, I'm told that's what I thought too, Muck. I thought, maybe they're just kind of holding back and saying, "Hey, we like it up here." I think they do like it up here for a whole lot of reasons, but they have actual limitations on how much they're able to expand. And I'm telling you, a number of the OPEC states are not producing the capacities that they are allowed under the current agreement. And demand is good. Demand's going crazy. Everybody wants to keep driving.
I do like driving. I'm not gonna lie.
You live in Southern California. Shit. It's a shit box to drive in.
I know we don't have stuff like you guys do it. It's nice.
It's like me going to the Bronx and driving around. Jesus Christ, I'd rather shoot myself.
Yeah, nothing was as bad as driving in Italy. That was horrible. You basically just drive on the sidewalk and hope you don't hit people.
Bing!
Hey! Let's do you guys see that little thing I sent you guys in our chat with the number of companies that are already down at least 65% from their peak?
Yep. It's kind of insane.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. It's 24 times 3, so that's 75 minus 3. So 72 companies are already, large listed companies are already down 65%. Now, some of these are like Robinhood, Poshmark, GameStop, Penn Gambling, but it's across the board. And it's interesting because the general sentiment is that if the big board is up, then everything's fine. And at some point, these components will outweigh the elephants in the room. It's seeing seeing Amazon dip below 3,000 today, there's chinks in the armor. I just don't see how we keep equities up here. I am not a perma bear. I'm trying to be a realist. I don't know how you keep equities this high. With oil up here, with the idea of increasing rates, it just consistently reminds me that somebody's off sides, and it's probably me. So I got to figure out how to work that out.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's playing into that, Lefty, as well, though, is and I had somebody mention it on my feed the other day, and I have a little bit of knowledge in the area, which is private equity. Private equity has been sitting on the sidelines with tons of money committed to them that they have not been able to utilize. Now, you saw there was an announcement today, Apollo bid for 10 cent. I don't know anything about the deal. I didn't look at it at all, but I know that they offered, I think, double of what the trading price was on it. I think as these equities go lower, private equity is sitting on a ton of cash. You're going to see some movement there. And that may, I hear your concerns, but that may buttress the market a bit. Plus, there's all this free cash. Sorry,
I actually disagree on the free cash idea. I think that the free cash is a talking point that doesn't really serve. It doesn't actually seem to be out there. Free cash does not seem to work like this. I get it. If I'm private equity though, and I'm looking at 75 names that are down 65% from their peak, I'm not touching that stuff with Muck's. Well, I'm not going to say that on live air, but yeah, Muck's little pieces of sausages. I am, and private equity. Private equity loves to buy the company, to slice it up, to lever it up, and to kick it back out. Like, what are you going to buy from Poshmark? You're going to buy all these little independent retailer, these like little moms who stay at home and sell stuff on Poshmark? Like, there's nothing to chop up. Like we talked about last time, Facebook, I could see the pieces of Facebook getting chopped up, right? Let's see who's on this list that I remember.
Somebody said Facebook's a candidate to go private.
That was me last week.
Was that you?
Yeah.
I just
there's a lot of there too, though. Like, so I just think the market got out of control. A lot of it was shitty. Also, a lot of the names on the list, like DocuSign, Twilio, and just Penn Gaming, really took off in the pandemic when no one thought we were ever going to leave our houses again. So I think they were overinflated stock prices at their now come back to maybe more of a footing. I mean, DraftKings was an $80 skin. I think, I thought that was way too high. I thought it was, maybe it'd be doing a $30 and $40 stock. But yeah, and I understand what you're saying. Like, some of them rallied so high and have come back down. I think they rallied due to random circumstances more than they certainly rallied off fundamentals. But I think they've maybe come back to where fundamental could be a buy. Some of them I think are shit, like Upstart and Affirm. I just don't think those are worth anything. I'll gladly listen to someone tell me why I'm wrong, but companies that want to consolidate your credit cards, the higher floating rate, if you're not paying your credit, if you're sitting any worse, why are you going to pay?
Yeah, I agree. Muck, your internet's really cutting out. But I tend to agree. I think online gaming, there he went. I think online gaming is a long-term buy, particularly in the gambling stocks. I think long-term gaming has a much higher ceiling than I think cannabis stocks do, and even any type of like psilocybin stock. I like as soon as like the day they legalized or the weekend they legalized mobile gambling in New York, they did $1 billion of revenue. Like the pent up demand on gambling stocks, I agree. They peaked during the pandemic. The only reason Illinois allowed you to sign up without going to a casino was because it was during the pandemic. I mean, the NFL got sued, 10 years ago? And they fought in court by saying that they're in the entertainment industry. I'm telling you that I'm under the impression that there are games out there that are definitely fixed. And I'm going to let you know that the more money comes into online gambling, the more the fix is in. Like this is a monster market, monstrous. Full disclosure, I don't own any gaming stocks. I do have a few apps on my phone though that have a lot of bets, but that's all.
I saw Caesars pulled back this week, I think, from they changed their advertising campaign. Now I think that's right after DraftKings came out and again said that their numbers stunk. I use DraftKings in Connecticut here, and they first off they do two things. They give a lot of offers out for increasing your, getting the ability to get an offset of a bet and this and that. But the real problem is, I think for them, is that they do live updating so that I have a bet on. I bet the Bears +6. The Bears go down and I don't know who they're playing, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, that line will fluctuate so much. And you are able to essentially arbitrage the bet. Now, I know that somebody with a computer, if you had 6 guys that knew couple that knew gambling and a couple that knew computers, could arbitrage those bets and just clean those guys out.
Yeah,
guys,
they've got a few circuit breakers in place to stop that. Those lines do update. I've noticed that my app is 4 to 8 seconds ahead at all times of the broadcast that I'm watching.
Are you using regular cable?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm not even I'm on my phone, but I'm on AT&T and I've got a fantastic setup and plan. And it doesn't matter where I am. I can be at a bar. It doesn't matter.
You're right.
There's like a 10-second delay, and you like the pickoff thing. What was that site a few years ago that I was still on the floor? At any rate, my point being, if you're in a back and forth in a college basketball game, to pick it off, they have a delay. There's a 10-second post your bet delay. So I'll hit the button, right? And I've got okay, your bet will process in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, your bet, the odds change. Did you want to change your bet? You got to press the button again. 6 more seconds, right? It's
yeah.
There's ways to circuit break it. I do think there is some fun there. I find myself live betting more than anything because it's fun. It's just like this.
Also, what DraftKings is notorious for doing is if they realize you're a winner, they start to massively limit how much you can bet. The problem is they only track the phone. So if you're constantly getting burners and putting the app on the phone, you can now bet up to $100. But they limit people really quick to $1. Like your max bet is $1.
No way.
No, they do. Especially if you're winning. Like a lot of the sharps from Vegas started using them, and they're all limited now. They're smart. They don't want you winning.
No,
They don't,
that's
like
contrary
they'll
to
let
business
idiots like
plan.
me go out and bet all the time. Occasionally I hit great parlay. Most of the time I don't. But
Well,
the guys I know
you're the
that
5-team parlay kind of guy, aren't you?
7, 10, 15, put a $10 to win 1,500, whatever.
Can be great when you're paying for college, Muck.
Oh
I'll
God.
be laughing my ass off.
I'll hit 100-team parlay for $1 and the tuition's covered.
I try not. I will do one big, silly parlay a week ish. I'm talking 5, 7, 10 teamer. But my general rule of thumb is I don't bet college football. I don't love betting college basketball, and I don't do more than 3 teams on a parlay, or 3 things on a parlay.
So you do the points, and then overs and unders.
I mean, I'll do the over under, the money line, and and then I'll pick another game or something. But I'm saying I won't do more than 3 legs on a parlay for my standard book.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, Gamalord just said hi.
I think one of the things that we said we were going to talk about was
By the way, yes. Sorry, Mark.
Oh no, we're do we want to scrape all the old stuff and put it on the new stuff?
I have no interest in. I can do it. I see no value in the content.
Okay.
I poked through half a dozen of them. I see no value. To be candid, I don't see any value in these more than about a week later. I see a lot of value in the moment, but the later they go, just leave them as an archive, in my opinion. But if you want to grab them, I would definitely throw them all into a playlist and leave them off main page. If you want to keep them for posterity's sake, I'm not a sentimental individual, but by all means, grab them.
Cool. I mean, I didn't really care. I didn't have a leaning towards it. I just wasn't sure, where everyone was. But I have gone back and watched them, and some of them, in the moment they're good, and I'm like, looking back, I was just like, oh, it makes sense at the time. There are some good book recommendations. I think we're the only program ever to have ramp capital on. So, I mean, that's a plus.
Yeah, I mean, there were some cool peeps in that whole run.
I have no idea what happened, but the S&P just dropped out of bed. Crude dropped like 70 cents in like a nanosecond. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't see anything in my news feeds.
That's the lowest price in the NASDAQ since this summer.
It's not good. Let's see what I'm just trying to see if anything came up. Brent crude. Well, I guess Brent crude just set. So that's just a settlement price. But boy, I don't know what the hell's going. Release of oil reserves as prices rising. Is that what it is? This breaking news that they're going to release oil reserves. Guys, there's only 50 million barrels in the U.S. reserves. It's a gnat's ass. It doesn't do anything. Nothing.
I mean, we're the largest we're the largest producer of oil in the world, I think, by almost like a 50% margin, right? I think we're at like 18 million barrels a day. What are you going to do? Stem the tide for a day and a half? 2 days? 3 days? That's dumb.
It's nothing.
Uh,
It's nothing but headline bullshit.
I'm just looking. It looks like the administration said that a invasion of Ukraine is still potentially on. That's I got that from ZR1. He just sent that to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why are we hell bent on being the European cop?
Well, haven't we
Well,
always been like the world cop? Isn't that just what we do?
You know, I mean, it makes no sense. It's an organizing principle, no more, no less. You know, I think what we're really paying for are some imprudent decisions made by Bill Clinton and George W. Bush to allow these other states into NATO that really have no business being in there anyway. Moldavia and Hungary. Come on, it's just crazy.
I guess I just got from breaking news 911. Biden administration Ukraine of a full-scale Russian invasion within the next 48 hours. So that's what shit the market.
No,
I don't know why wouldn't that like blow up crude? Why wouldn't crude go up to the moon? I don't understand. Maybe that's going to happen. I don't know, but I got to tell you, it went from 92.20 down to 91.28. It almost dropped $1. I don't even understand. I don't understand it. And now the S&P's recovering a bit. S&P's up eight off the lows. I don't know what that. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Maybe it's just algos. I don't know.
Lots of problems, like so many algo news, and then just react. They don't actually. I mean, don't want to get started on it on an algorithm trading rant.
Oh, I'd like that. Hit me with an algo trading rant.
What are you gonna do? That's just the game, right? Fuck.
I mean, they're just like so. I don't get it. I feel like the more we just go into automation of the market, the more our markets kind of become just a fuckery place.
Ken Griffin owns you, boy.
Yeah, he probably does. Most of my shit is in equities and options. I mean, every time I buy something, he's probably selling it and writing it. So, he
whatever
probably
that
does
blip
own me.
was, I see crude trending straight back up. It's put
Exactly.
a quarter back.
It's insane. It made no sense.
Man, it is jumpy out there. You better have a plan and stick to it.
It's so thin. It's so thin, and that's why today I kind of decided to not do anything. I had 2 trades early, and then I took a shower, and boy, I looked at crude and I said, oh, let me get into crude. So now I've been riding crude for about 2.5, 3 hours, like an idiot. You know, and I should just get out of it, but I like to get paid. It's going back over 92 now. You can see it.
Like I read back up, the portfolio and stuff like that, and we went massively down to now down within seconds. Cannery, all I can think of, and
I should have, if I'd have been thinking, I just would have bought, because I'm looking at the news and I'm saying, but that trade has already passed me by. So, story of my life.
I need my old friend Cal back to really go over how bad it is going.
Hey, Bob, did you understand that?
I have no idea what the fuck. Something about Cal. That much.
I actually thought he said something about a cow. Was it a cow, Muck?
Yeah, no, Cal, my old friend. It's that guy.
Confidence.
Yeah, good dude. No, it's
All
not.
right, you think we should call it a day here, guys? We don't really have much to say in this bullshit.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm getting crushed. I'll fix all my issues on my side.
Yeah, I mean, I got tatered today. It was not fun trading this mess. I would love if one of these days we start a thread or we have a conversation on here on resources that are must-haves for every trader. I think it's interesting where we each get our information from. I'd just love to see if we could make a small list of what we really love.
Okay.
Yep. Idea a lot.
Yeah, trying to add actual value to life, you know?
That sounds like a good plan.
Not a bad one.
Until that time, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Peace out.
See you, Muck.
Bye, Muck.